All right, so based on our discussions, move to draft an advisory opinion that essentially approves of, let's see, what number is this anyway? Is there a number on this?
It is
2017
forward.
27, okay, so a request for an advisory opinion 2017-4. We will have a member of our group draft an opinion that essentially approves of this with a potential recusal for appearance of impropriety. That's the motion on the table. Any objections to that? Hearing no objection, the motion passed. Second from Ted Carlson. And then who do we have to write it?
Because I think we
Yeah.
could put 2 paragraphs of background facts in this
Yeah, let's-
stuff. I would be better. I would know.
You wanna
that.
draft it?
So why don't I start and then I'll run
Okay,
it through you.
and run it through Jack, and then we can bring it up at our next
For
meeting.
aggressive edit.
Yes.
You know.
No, it's easier a lot of times when
Yeah.
you don't worry about it. You know it's going to go through somebody else's, so you just fire it off and get the ball rolling. Part of the issue I've noticed is we had a habit of getting things backed up. A lot of times, if you just get it
Get it right
rolling,
away.
just get it out right away, and then we get a lot more caught up in that kind of thing. Any other discussion on this?
Yeah,
Yes.
Does anybody know when that, Heritage Land Bank seat, but when do they want it filled?
No,
It's been filled.
they filled it.
It's already been
It
filled.
won't come up for another year.
He didn't appoint.
No,
No.
he did not
He
get
did
it.
not, he didn't get it because of this issue.
Oh,
So
maybe.
you're anticipating.
Okay, so we're not out of time.
No, we're not.
No, I have a year to write.
That's right. That's right. Actually, there's a time deadline. 150 days?
I'm good.
120 days?
I think I took the deadline out of here.
120.
Did you take that? I noticed that.
Oh,
I believe I took the deadline out.
We used to have a
Oh, it
deadline
is
that we're always running up
gone.
against.
Thank you, Dee.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Good catch. Yeah, but
Wow.
that was specifically, that was just for you? What?
What you don't know was
Take a picture of that.
Oh, I just rewrote it, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Okay. Are we ready to go to the consent agenda?
Yeah.
Okay.
So for the newbies, it's going to be your green.
The newbies were all like.
The newbies.
I know, we're all.
It's the color. The consent agenda is this colored section. So and we're
Right.
going to start with the first tab, the green.
Lisa has this wonderful
Okay.
color-coded thing, and I still need help. Like, it's crazy. Okay, so we're at, so I guess green is 5, is that
Yes.
right? Okay, so,
It's 5A.
forms for review. And the reason we started doing this in a consent agenda form is that typically these are the forms that we go through rather quickly. And then, did you find it? Nope.
You're right at it. You're right at it.
Oh, no, you're
You're
right
there.
Gifts.
So
All right.
flip
Yeah,
that
there's no
over,
5, it's just
and then flip,
gifts. And we tend to
and flip the cover page
move
over,
through these
and you're there.
rather quickly, and then we can just approve of the whole thing at the end. That's what we've been doing. Anything in here, Lisa, that I need to pay attention to?
David, do you want to explain to them what these are that they're looking at, these disclosures, these exception requests?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's see, where are we at?
We're in green, and so these are.
No, I know. Last month they were served. There's an
Oh,
email on top.
I'm
of
sorry,
it.
I'm sorry.
You threw me.
Let me
There's an
explain, because this
My
is
name
not the
again.
typical form.
Yeah.
no.
This person sent me an email, and I referred her to Dee, and Dee gave her some advice about. She wanted her to take a look at what the
Oh.
present was. Dee, do you remember this?
She was told
And-
by some group that she's going to receive a gift once a month, and was that okay? What should she do? And I said, well,
Oh.
when you get the gift, can you contact us back?
And this is her response, Dee. She
Okay.
got the gift, and she's
Valuable.
describing it after
the
right
gift
after
is a-
Good Morning.
So snack
who's
food,
it
sample
from?
disinfectant, coupons, flyers. That.
She's a teacher, or a teacher.
Okay, but in the top of the second page, in my position I work with, she's special ed. I work with several contracting companies to fill staff vacancies. So this is a company that she hires, that they get business from her. And so they're going to give her a gift will be delivered monthly for 6 months. So someone who does business with the city, in which she sounds like has control over.
And then in the first paragraph, she describes the gift. She got her first gift.
Right. All this stuff, and then donate to meals to a child in need.
And it's from a company?
Yeah, that
So
she
it's-
uses to fill vacancies.
So it's not from an
staff
individual.
vacancies, No. And maybe what I can explain to We're just gonna call them the newbies, I like that.
Okay.
Is gifts, what we did with gifts is if you look at gifts as 050, we said, hey, unless there's factors of influence are present, then there's a bunch of sort of safe harbors, which is 1.15050C. And so, for instance, one of the safe harbors is an occasional gift or bill worth $50 or less. So that certainly would fall within that safe harbor, but it is unless other factors of influence are present. So what does the board think of the fact that somebody we do business, ASD does business with, is sending this? Having said that, for instance, every court reporting
You're
group
right.
in the
I
city
know.
sends
That's
everybody,
right.
all of us Cinnabons, and
Yeah,
is it worth saying, that doesn't sound so good, or what?
I don't have a problem with this.
Well,
Just no.
it's, individually,
Yeah,
they're less than $50,
Right.
so she wouldn't have to fill out one period.
Would it also fall
Every
under,
month.
under D2?
Actually, business partners are like Conoco and
Oh, okay.
there's,
Okay,
I don't
so
know
that's not-
exactly what they are, but there's some
Right.
kind of structures to it.
So, I would say
Yeah.
she wouldn't have to fill out one period.
Well, except 50 times 6 is 300. Well, is it 25 times 6?
Yeah, but it's
Every
one,
month.
one a month, it's not one.
Oh, no, I think that's a whole gift. I would add times it by 6 and say $150.
Carve it up into.
Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not sure if you're going to bribe an official, you can do it on a monthly basis instead.
Right.
It's an
There's nothing
installment.
said in the code that says
By
that you
1,000
can't.
cuts.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
I don't know, do we question this person's judgment because they're getting disinfectant wipes
A sample of
and
disinfectant.
snack foods?
It's an unusual combo.
Yeah, I don't I don't see it as a problem, personally. Okay.
Okay.
Do you disagree, Dee?
No.
Were you all up in arms about this?
No.
Okay.
I like the installment plan.
I understand that it's an accumulation of over 6
Right.
months, like, I get that, but anyway.
No, it just doesn't fit within that small harbor then, so it's fine. And
Let's
she
see.
called ahead of time. This is a great progress for the school district.
Yes,
Right.
that's right. That is. Yeah, we used to get, I accepted this mink coat last month. Was that okay?
Uh-huh.
And then we're like, okay, how do we fix this?
So really, this one just boils down to whether or not other factors of undue influence are present.
Right.
I think so. That's right. And I thought maybe just go through them, we'll figure it out as we go.
Well, it's good for everybody to
No,
learn.
that's- yeah. Let's see.
There's one more.
Yeah,
That
is
last
that
Doherty?
Cameron Hoyer?
Cameron Hoyer? It's two $50 Orso's gift cards by mother and father.
It's outside of our guidelines, right? Terry isn't here. Terry is the person who holds the torch against
Yeah.
gifts in the school setting.
Yeah, we tend to be a little more lax.
We're like,
And he throws the gauntlet. He wants apples only, basically. I tease.
It's 'cause it pays for me anyway.
And why is this outside, Dee?
well, because, right, it's $100 from the parent, father, and the parents. So estimated value $110 from a family, their child's teacher. So it's outside our, what are we at, $50, aren't we?
You mean it's over?
That's what I'm saying.
Right, yeah. No, I was like, why would, no, this seems to fall within our
Yeah.
letter writing.
Mhm.
So we have a form letter that goes out that basically says, you can't do this. Thank you for reporting.
But give it back.
But give it, so they have to give it back. I mean, that's essentially what we're doing here. Because this is over $110, and typically, if it's from the parents of this is your classic scenario where you have a child and the child's parents or parent is giving a gift to the child's teacher in excess of $50. That's where you run into these undue influence issues.
Because they're grading.
They're grading it. I mean, and this is kind of your classic example. So what we do is we send out a form letter saying you can't accept this.
And can I know something?
Yeah.
through, just once you write a code, it comes to haunt you.
Mhm.
Reservation for exceptions. If you notice on the top of her page, she puts, "I'm requesting an exception."
Mhm.
And we had all the, safe harbors, and then reservation for exceptions. The Board of Municipal Ethics Officer may review and approve a gift which is consistent with public policy, concern, influence, appearances. So we're also not granting an exception. There's really no
That's
reason to
right.
fall outside of that policy.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. That's right. So unless someone has an objection, what we typically do is we'll send a letter out.
And I think this was really sort of to provide me as the ethics
As an
officer with a
out.
little bit of a
As an
discretion
out.
if I had to, of some.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about that? And this is pretty standard.
Could you have the phone say, like, you can keep one of the $50 cards?
Well, we
Right.
thought about
I know,
that
we
one
thought about
time,
doing
and
that.
of course,
I know.
Ted was totally, Terry, was
Terry.
totally anti
Yeah.
that, but.
We actually were debating, when we were originally doing the rewrite, debating a zero policy. Zero, just no, it just simplifies it. And then the assembly came, they really pushed back and they said, no, the assembly really wanted to carve out an exception for teachers. And so that's what we've done.
Well, and also
And
50 for
every-
everybody.
For
yeah,
everybody.
no
And so
one-
what, so then we open up, so we don't want to make it just teachers can get 50. So, and arbitrarily, $50, and Dick Trainee said, nope. Yeah, okay.
But I agree with Chuck, I mean, there is another remedy would be to just give
Right.
one fee, anything that's in excess of the 50.
Well, that's right. I
No,
wish we could do that.
Well, can't we?
Can't we?
Why
Yeah,
can't
but we started doing that, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden there was just like some reason, I can't think of it, that everyone went, oh, yeah, you
Oh,
can't.
really?
Oh, really?
And I'm not grasping it, but
Was
if
that
we've
pre-code
lost it,
change?
maybe we pre-code change.
That may have been
Well,
pre-code.
not pre-code, our gift section change.
Right,
but
right,
Yeah,
right,
right.
yeah.
Well, I'm sure Terry could
I'm
fill us
trying to
in.
think.
so-
I know it would be Terry that would
Because
go,
I've
this
always
is
wanted
why.
to do that.
Yeah, my suggestion would be, can we put that in the letter? Can we modify the letters? I don't know
Yeah.
how, but,
Yeah. You can give everything back in excess of $50.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's an
Okay.
easy one.
Well, I'm
to
sure
remedy
that
because there's two $50
Terry would
Right.
say you have the same undue influence already by trying to
Yeah.
give $110 and that you're not accomplishing the goal. I mean, he had read all these studies. And
I know.
What I'm going to say is that you totally can get away with that this time with this decision, but when it comes around again and we say, oh, why don't we do what we did before,
Yeah.
I guarantee you
Sure.
he'll remember the reason why
Sure.
we stopped doing it. So
So maybe we should do it, or maybe we should table
Yeah.
it.
It goes to Terry.
Well, I can imagine that, like in this instance, it's really easy to say just give
Right.
back one. But if it was something you were estimating, it was
Right.
something worth more than $50.
No, it
that
oh
would be a
yeah,
little
I
bit more
remember an
difficult.
example of a perfume bottle.
Right.
What are you going to
Yeah,
empty out
yeah.
half of
Right.
the bottle?
No,
but
this is-
Something.
This one
Yeah.
you
But
just
this
write
is
it off.
clearly,
It's
yeah.
clearly
Yeah,
an
it's
easy
very
one
easy,
to
yeah.
segregate from the
And there was
funding
also something
versus
else, a
funding.
movie theater gift.
Yeah.
Oh, can we, this is what I propose, especially because he's not here and he put me in the chair. So, and I'm gonna do this. So, no, obviously, if you guys are up for it, what we could do is simply modify that letter to include language saying, in excess of $50, you have to return it.
Okay.
Because this is so easily delineated
Right.
delineated between the three.
But have
items.
David sign that letter.
I'll sign it. I'll take the heat for it. All right. Are you okay with that? I mean, obviously, it has to be a board decision, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and we have no gift disclosure, let's see, elected official gift disclosure form. Sometimes we'll get assembly members who will say, yeah, I got this trip to so-and-so, or I'm getting, and they have to disclose it, and so those issues come up from time to time. Ted, did I interrupt you? Did I interrupt you?
No.
Oh, okay. Conflict of interest from the school district.
Had a couple of them there that,
And a lot of
Maybe
times
not.
on these, David Whiting, who is the senior director of purchasing warehouse, who Dee works with, he writes a little cover letter. So it's almost like he filters through these. So a lot of times, my take on it is I defer a lot to his perspective on this. So if he thinks that there's no conflict, he's much more familiar with the inner workings of those departments to know what the conflict, and Dee's really good at that
he
too.
puts that right in there.
So he'll say Frank has no influence on the ability of his wife's company to obtain school. This is probably a tutoring or something. A lot of times we see those.
Tutoring or-
Yeah.
What is this?
Music-
Youth
music
Improvement
Empowerment
Program.
program.
And typically we let these just go through because there just doesn't appear to be any direct conflict. And a lot of times, these are people who are volunteering or tutoring, and they're just trying to help people, and we try to. Did I misread this one?
No.
You agree?
And that being
Okay.
said, the first two are new, but the third one is one that you didn't let go through. It's the Harrington one that you wanted to come back.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Yes.
So the Music Mania, I'm okay with these first two. Is everybody okay with the first two? And then, let's see, Travis's no influence. Can you refresh my recollection, Lisa? Why did we bring this back?
No, I cannot.
Okay, so
This was one where we were going to call David Whiting.
We were, really?
And he was going to, chime in on this conversation. So Dean, I think,
Was I supposed to do something? Okay, so anyway,
You had set up the
employee was
conversation.
the teacher.
The teacher,
Okay, the employee is a teacher at Mirror Lake, and wife, is it wife? Can't tell.
The brother.
the brother,
Brother.
Kyle,
Yes, you
Brother, sole
he
proprietor
was the sole proprietor of
of a
ukulele
music
instruction.
thing.
Why did we take this back?
I don't know.
This doesn't. This looks a lot like our other ones.
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
because he's a music teacher? I mean, that's the only.
It's the
Yeah.
distinction.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the Travis, the
music
employee is a
teacher.
principal of a school. Does that matter? Is there some, and the brother,
You
I
really
don't
brought
know why
this
we
back,
did,
huh?
yeah.
I don't
Because,
recall why we brought this back.
David
You-
is very good about this too. I mean, he's
Yeah.
very strict, and we've had a couple things where we've questioned why he
Mhm.
declared a conflict. Or people have tried to come back to us and said, "Wait a minute, David's too
Yeah,
strict."
too strict, and they'll come to us and say, "No, we need to get around it." And I think we normally sided with David. And,
Well, the one
Yeah.
we really looked at
is
is
it the hot dog
length.
vendor?
No, it was the coach, volleyball
Oh,
coach.
with the
Dooley.
uniforms.
Julie's.
Yeah.
do you want me to review the recording, and if there's anything compelling on that,
No,
let Dee
I-
know, or just
My
let it go?
opinion is let's just send it
just
on.
get it through.
Let's just
Okay,
get it through.
I love that.
Yeah, let's just not spend any more time. Present economic interests. Oh.
This is just a recusal type thing. The wife is on the Urban Design Commission, and the husband also is involved in RIM Architects.
Right.
They probably have overlap in business at
I'm sure
times.
they do.
But if it comes before her commission,
Right. He'll recuse himself.
she
I
will,
mean, she
yeah.
will.
Do we send out a note for that or not? We don't anymore, do we?
no.
Okay.
We do not send a form for this. We just
Mm.
assume that that they understand the rules. We have sent letters.
We
before.
Yeah, we have.
We sent a
do-
letter saying, "Hey, this is okay, but don't forget
Right.
your conflict of interest."
We give them a little education, like, we
Okay.
understand the situation, but
Right.
here's what you need to do if it comes
Right.
up.
So why don't we
and-
send that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We say letter, and that's what goes out.
It's just a refresher, so
Okay.
they understand.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so this one doesn't have it.
Alaska Legal Services. Oh, no. No.
What is this?
Hand? What is hand?
What is hand?
The Hand Commission, they're something to do with housing.
Oh,
Oh.
mhm.
Okay. So there's
Homelessness and something.
no conflict.
They work with
Another
DHHS.
hand. Wow, the hand really is on there. Disclosure of funds. And no. I tend to look at their. I trust. If they say no, then I don't often look into their disclosure any further. Peterson. Potentially, if housing development occurs, I can potentially sell more appliances. That seems pretty tangential to me. However, purchasing happens on a competitive basis, so, okay. I don't see a problem there. Are you waiting for me, Dee?
Oh, no, just when you get the bill policy, let me explain what's going on.
Oh, I can't wait.
I saw my name there and I went, gosh, I don't even remember this even for 1 second. Oh, yeah, now I do.
Okay, municipal manager.
Okay, what's,
Oh,
Yeah, Bill, he's
Is
now.
he Miss Momentum?
Yeah,
He
and
moved?
Rebecca took his place.
Yeah, I know, I saw that part. Okay.
Okay, well, anyway, his
No,
wife.
wait. One before Bill,
Oh,
Yeah.
Dixie Rutherford. I don't see
Is empty.
anything. Do you want me to tell her
oh,
to
can you ask her to fill that out again?
fill the right form?
This
Okay.
is the old form.
This is
that
the
re-
old
That
form.
requires some indication below,
Mhm.
because no box has been checked, right?
Okay.
That's an old form. Yeah, have her fill that out again.
Okay.
I assume that blank means no, but just, yeah.
Oh, that was interesting too. She. Never mind. So Bill Falsey.
Of course he has to rewrite it. I have
Well, let me just
an
explain that.
indirect.
His wife just got a job with RDI, Resource Data Inc.,
Okay.
and they're handling our
Oh.
vote by mail stuff.
Oh,
And so he's saying I assume if any of the vote by mail stuff goes to
I
him,
know,
he'll recuse
yeah.
himself. And actually, vote by mail is a clerk's thing anyway.
okay. I don't have a problem with it. Yeah. And he'll navigate that without a problem. Oh, that's it. That's it. Okay. What's this? Lisa, what's this?
He just also submitted
this
his
is all-
PLIP.
APOC?
Yeah. his
Oh,
APOC
okay.
with it.
Oh,
I didn't recognize that. Okay, board member. Other person. Dee, what do you know about this?
Which one are you?
I'm looking, this is at Milliken. Eric.
Oh, here it is.
Milliken.
Okay, no.
It says on the back that
First and back.
the rural.
Okay, he works with
Cleve
Rural
County.
Cap. Okay, so he manages federal grants.
It
But
looks
it's
like there's
in
no overlap.
his-
no.
But it's, yeah, he's Parks and Rec Commission.
Okay. That's a very sophisticated answer, but I think there's no, I don't know.
Very confusing. One of the things we've just got on the board is that all the nonprofits, everybody's on everybody's board.
Yeah, they're all on the
Oh my
same.
gosh. We used to make them come in and explain it.
Right.
I think we stopped doing that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Okay, cool.
Notice of intent to respond to public solicitations. Did you see anything in here, Lisa, that?
No.
This looks pretty straightforward too, doesn't it? Neither I don't remember. So both of these.
And it's supposed the same person, but two different solicitations.
Oh, okay. So those look okay.
Wait, should be okay.
And she's already had her ethics officer sign off on it.
Okay.
However,
Oh, right. Todd has signed this off.
mhm.
Okay.
Sometimes we do that, but she's signed. Well, not the first one, but the second one she did.
Mhm.
Well, because that's school district, right? He is
Yeah.
school district.
Okay, if I remember, we're gonna send one letter out with
Mhm.
with modified writing
One letter and one form.
and one form.
Mhm.
Okay, with those exceptions, I move to approve the consent agenda. Second, any opposing? No? Okay, consent agenda is approved. We take, let's see, new business. Oh, I should have moved 6A to the top instead of doing it formally, but that's okay.
That's how I wrote it down.
Gotcha.
So that's what
Okay,
you're going to
we
have
did.
said
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
record.
I didn't go that far. I didn't study the.
In the minutes, you will say
agenda
that.
before the- That's right. So, we've already done 6A. We've done the oath orientation. Okay, so the next meeting, before I'm on 6B now. The next meeting before the Assembly Ethics and Elections Committee is Friday, January 12th. Any particular reason why we have been request or need to be there?
No request.
No request? Yeah, I kind of miss those meetings. I
Well,
enjoyed
there's
those.
no reason not to go.
No, but then they say, well, what's going on? No, I don't know. You know, same old thing.
Well, we got 2 fabulous new members. We call them the newbies.
That's
So-
true. I am not, is he Friday, that's tomorrow.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
At 2:33. Yeah, I'm in court tomorrow afternoon. If either of you would like to go, you're welcome to go, but I don't see any real. Ted, did you want to go and make an announcement of our newbies? Okay. Then, if they ask, we'll skip.
You know, if they ask for somebody to go, I'll gladly,
Sure.
Okay.
you know, but,
They've been
I-
doing a lot of election stuff.
Yeah,
lately,
let's-
their left-
Yeah, they're
elections
sort of
and
like
ethics.
focused
They're
on that
focusing
right
on
now.
that,
So.
which is good.
Yeah.
So let's leave them be.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
we
C.
might relay to them at any time that they want somebody from there.
Oh, they know.
Oh
that.
yeah,
know.
they do. They ask
Yeah.
me regularly. Yeah.
And by the way, we would introduce you, but you're going to be driving for 20 minutes for a 5-minute hello. And then
Now you'll go before the assembly, right?
they already did.
Oh, did you already go before the assembly? Okay.
But you didn't go, did you?
Jack did.
I should have said I was late.
He was late, so he missed the whole come up and introduce yourself. So he didn't get to
It was like
introduce
the one
himself.
bad
so.
soda we had.
C. Mayor's.
True board and commission.
Right. I remember showing up. That was fun. Yeah. So municipal website, Mayor's Corner. What's this?
Okay,
What are
I
we
put
doing?
this in
Mhm.
because we had a form come to us that was a really, really old form because they're appointing a bunch of people right now. And so Barbara had sent back, a reply saying, look, this person got this form from your municipal ethics information page. And it's an old form, so I went to look at the page, and it's improved since then. So they must have not only changed the form, but changed a little bit of the information there, because it had the slideshow from 2007,
Oh.
and said, "Here's your new code for your guidance,"
Oh,
and
my.
it was from 2007.
That's when it was
And
modified the first
yeah,
time.
yeah, and so it was just like, and it said new code
Okay.
from 2007. And so I look on here now, and a lot of that is missing.
Okay.
And I clicked on each of these links, and they're still calling it disclosure of present economic interest form.
Mhm.
So that's different. The municipal code, they're still going to the
Old
code
one.
before this one.
Oh.
And then the ethics page, thank goodness they added this. They are pointing them to our ethics page at the
Okay.
bottom. So they improved those, but there's some other stuff in here where they're saying the ethics PowerPoint presentation below,
Mm.
and there is no power presentation
Oh,
below.
So it needs to be edited.
It needs to be edited, and I didn't know if you all wanted to do that because it's sort of representing what,
Sure.
like our page does. If you wanted to take a moment to read it and edit it, or if you wanted me to do it, I don't know. But I would be happy to send your edits back to the administration for them to fix the page.
I don't know if we need to do it as a board. I just, I would say either Dee or Lisa, just take a sneak peek at it. And
Can
then
I edit
take a
it and
look.
send it to you,
Oh, I would
Dee,
love
and
that.
then
Oh, that'd be
we'll-
perfect.
Yeah,
Do you
then
have
I
time
can
to
walk
do
it up
that?
to the board. yeah.
Okay.
Let's do
okay.
that.
To the
Just take a
minute.
stab at it, and we can take a look at your revisions
Yeah,
if you
that'd be
want.
wonderful.
Okay.
But let's do that instead of going over it
And
as a group.
actually,
Okay.
just while we're at it, I thought I would tell you that when I was trying to teach for the newbies benefit, what my role was as the municipal ethics officer, I looked at our current P&P, which is procedure and policy, which is a mayoral directive. Yeah, there's like 80 of them, but one of them has to do with our P&P. It has to do with us and me in particular, but it incorporates the old code as well. And we need to just get rid of it. And so I'm going to, maybe between now and next meeting, I can try to. Now, that's a mayoral thing. It's not under your jurisdiction, but obviously it should be updated, so I'll try to do that as well.
That would be really confusing. If I were a public
Yeah.
citizen and I'm trying to get on a website to look for stuff and the links aren't up to date, that would be really frustrating.
Well, Rebecca,
Yeah.
after we'd already done the whole code rewrite a couple months ago, she needed to find something.
Yeah.
And knew there's a new code and could not
Right.
find where it was on our system. Now,
Right.
the entire code is being updated by probably any day now in the next week or two
Okay.
to incorporate the last year's worth of ordinances.
Okay. That's really important.
And now
Yeah, let's-
our page that is that we do out of the clerk's office,
Yeah.
it has the new code at the top, but it's got an explanation that this link is sending you to the ordinance. Here's the new code,
Right.
but here's the ordinance
hasn't been
because it's
codified yet.
not codified in Municode. So right
Okay.
now, that's the only place I know of on the website where
Okay.
you can actually get the actual new code. is on our website.
Okay.
But even someone who knew all about it was having
Right.
trouble finding it.
Couldn't
And
find it,
that's
yeah.
because the Assembly stole Dean Gates from our office,
Oh.
who was our code revisor.
Yeah.
So we
Dean
now
was
are-
awesome, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
we're now taking back his function. We had a meeting yesterday, and
Yeah.
again, everything will be updated in a month. But there's still
Okay.
little bits and pieces of the old ethics code.
Will you put that on the agenda for next month, just to
Mhm.
follow up with this issue? Because that's really important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The public access.
And
is
can I add a
really
new item as well?
Yes.
We need to have a policy on solicitation. And as we go through our economic downturn, different people in the municipality, like, can we get airline tickets from Alaska Airlines for employee, incentive award? Can we
Mhm.
get money from this group because we want to? The fire department has some antique fire engine. It just comes up again and again and again, and we should get a policy. I did mention that to the Ethics and Elections Committee. They thought that was a good idea. But it would, one of the things we do in this code is things that are repetitively asked of me that I try to get in the code, and that just comes up again and again. And what are the pros and cons of that? I mean, are there some ethical parameters? But it would really help, versus just me and the administration write our own policy. I think that would be totally appropriate to go through this board to come up with a decent policy.
Okay.
Now, Ted's going to be our holdout on this one. We all know who each position.
Yeah, I
Ted
know.
is a former police captain.
Yeah.
We had a request one time about could police,
Yeah.
could they all get massages at their desk, I think.
Right,
But
yeah.
the other one was
Yeah.
from a group, for free. And then the other one was
The
some
the
tax
taxes.
group was
Yeah,
going to
Liberty
do
Tax
free
wanted to
taxes
get-
for all police. And
Yeah.
I thought Ted was just going to roll over. in his
Aneurysm
chair.
right there.
No.
They stuck their head in.
They asked me, and I said, I think I'll bring that to the ethics
Right.
board. But anyway, so I would love to put, if we could, put that on the agenda. That
No,
I
that'd be
think that
good.
would be really helpful, because
Okay.
especially at economic downturn, you're gonna.
Well,
So what do we
anything-
think? I mean, I guess what do we think?
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta
Yeah.
write something, but what do we think?
Well, I think yes, but do you make
You
it
put
selective that you
limitation.
can't do it if it's from a religious group,
Yeah.
or
Right.
obviously if there's any potential influence stuff. But like Alaska Airlines was pretty easy because they
Yeah.
have a whole gift giving program.
Right.
But like GCI wanted to throw a party for all the people that they work with in the city, like all the project managers. I said, no,
Yeah,
you can't
you
do
can't
it,
do that.
unfortunately.
So
And
what's
they
the-
were doing it in goodwill. I mean,
Right,
they really,
right.
but they have contracts with us. So I think
I see.
yes, it's just how to make it.
So we need to write a policy that takes into account some of those considerations.
Right.
Yeah. I'll try to. I mean, I can
That's a
try to
good
think of
point,
some
Kate.
examples.
We've
yeah.
seen those a lot. Like come to our restaurant for $25 gift certificates, and
Yeah.
remember that was the fire
Yeah,
and
right. And all the schools do it, and
Mhm.
of course we let the schools do it. I mean, every school does it.
right.
So actually, we need to be careful about that, because every
Right.
school does that, and boy,
Yeah.
they're big
Okay.
solicitations, right? Free trips on Kenai Fjords for
Yeah.
silent auctions for the schools. The schools are big
Right.
on that.
These discussions branch out quickly.
Oh.
When you start imagining all the different, right? I mean, it's so much easier to just no.
Oh, well, but that's really good to keep in mind. Boy, I sure don't want to hamstring
Right.
the schools who are doing it anyway.
Yeah.
I know.
I might have to take this back off the
Yeah.
agenda.
Are you sure you want to put this on?
I don't know. I'm thinking
Don't you want to
differently
keep
now.
that discretion in your
Okay, maybe I'll
office?
just keep.
It's good
Thumbs
for
up,
you to
thumbs
raise
down.
it for us for the issues
Sure.
that we need to think
You know,
about.
that
like-
might actually not be a bad thing, just to, when we look at this P&P, which again is a mayoral thing, is to say that the municipal ethics officer.
Where are we at? Sorry to interrupt you.
We're adding things.
No. I was going to say, where are we at with
Oh,
Oh,
uh,
that one.
Croft.
Mr. Croft? That's public.
I wondered if we could, but I want to do deliberative, if we could do that.
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to deliberative. Any objection? No. Okay.